So we're in front headlock position. He's on his knees, he's on his elbow. I have a chin strap. So basically my hand cups his chin, and what I want to do is I want to rotate his chin towards the direction of my right elbow here. All right, just kind of take his head out of alignment with his spine. Pinky goes into the armpit. A common problem here that people can run into is when you try to break people down for, say, anaconda chokes, for example. So if I go with a gable grip and say if Mantis bases out wide on his right elbow, if you just even stay in your elbow there, Mantis, if I try to break him down, it can be hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with an open grip. So again, chin strap, pinky into the armpit. The cue is basically going to be pull your training partner's elbow away from their body and towards your body. All right, so now I can lock my hands in this position. If Mantis tries to stand up here, it's a lot harder. So you can see it's hard for him to base his elbow outside the line of his shoulder here. Whereas Mantis now in this position, he's in a good strong position to start to build up to like referee's position. So if he starts to come up on his hands here, all right. There is a way of kind of keeping the weight on his hands if your hands are locked. And the way we do this is basically, instead of keeping my head on the outside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my head on his spine here. So if Mantis tries to stand up now, it's a lot harder, he's carrying my weight. So you're just kind of changing your head position. Whereas if I bring my head to this side, you can see that there's less weight on Mantis's head and he's able to come up. So if you find that you have your hands locked and he starts to build, just put the head on the spine here. All right, and then when he kind of relaxes, you can go to an open grip, pull the elbow away from his body and then towards your body here. All right, I'm going to go gable grip and I lock my hands. And that's all we're going to do for now. All right, so we'll go into that position and then we'll work our Schultz choke, Anaconda choke and build from there. So 3, 2, 1. You look at, say, Mantis, right? So when Mantis is in a turtle position, for him to build to referee's position, so when he goes up onto his hands, his head has to come up before he's able to fully come up on his hands. So if you go for it there, Mantis, here, so his head comes up. All right, so if we go back down, so knowing that the head comes up for him to build from elbow post to hand post, when we put our weight over his head, so this red line is actually a nice little marker for where you want your head. My chin is up because I'm talking to you, but ideally when you're in this position, you just connect and like say your temple and that to his head. So now if Mantis tries to come up, when I cover the head, it's pretty hard. All right, it's not impossible, but it's going to slow him down from coming up. If your head is on the outside for when you're looking for control, he'll come up, he can go into like counters like arm drags and all these types of stuff from here. All right, so it's really important that you recognize when he's trying to build up on his hands or when he's on his elbows. So you know, are you going to go with like say controlling kind of technique like we're working, or we're going to go into offense. Make sense? All right, so now that we've slowed him down, we kind of go back to the details. Bring his elbow away from his body towards your body. I'm going to get my thumb into his armpit here. I lock up a gable grip. My ear then goes into his armpit. All right. I start to walk towards, say, Mantis's hips, and my ear goes into his armpit as much as I can. So I'm trying to look. While I do this, I raise my right elbow high. If Mantis doesn't roll to his right shoulder, we can get a tight tap from here. All right. If he does decide to roll to relieve the pressure, this allows us to go into anaconda chokes, stars chokes, and so on. So basically what we're doing is we're using the, it's surprisingly tight. Yeah. The Schultz choke, you'll either obviously one, get a finish, or two, for him to relieve the pressure, he has to drop to the shoulder. So we're creating a dilemma. So it's either tap him, or he taps, or he goes to a shoulder, and then we get the anaconda choke. All right, so we'll just focus on the control first, talking from building from referee's position, and then we'll talk about the Schultz finish, and then we'll go into the anaconda finish. All right, so again, chin strap, we're pulling the elbow away from the head. If at any stage I find that Mantis builds up, he starts to build up, I just cover the back here. I'm going to break it back down. Alright, once he settles, thumb goes into this armpit. You can see his elbows away from his body. Ear goes into the armpit. I keep walking, and I raise my right elbow high to get the tap. Alright, so one last time. So again, so elbow away from the body, towards your body, thumb into the armpit. Gable grip. Ear into the armpit. We keep walking, and we raise this elbow high to get the tap. All right, 3, 2, 1. When you get, like, say, your inside arm, your choking arm in place, it's really important that you think about getting connection with your bicep on the side of his neck here. All right, because if you don't get, like, say, connection, like if there's an inch or so between your bicep and his neck, it's probably just going to cause discomfort, but you're not going to choke him out. So this bicep has to connect. So we go deep here. And then what you want is, like, say, the outside of your hand here, or say where your thumb is, we're kind of like curving this into his armpit. So keep your thumb into his armpit. If it starts to go low, this forearm goes low and then you don't get connection around his neck. So keep that high, all right? I'm going with the gable grip. Ear goes into the armpit. Obviously we want this elbow away from his body towards my body, because we want to have his bicep connecting to his artery on the opposite side. Makes sense? So his bicep connected to his neck on this side, my bicep connected to the neck on the opposite side, so we can close the circle around his neck. All right, so I take my gable grip, ear goes into the armpit. We know that when we start to walk, for him to relieve the pressure, he's going to look to roll to his shoulder. So one way we can kind of stop this or slow this down, if we're solely fixated on getting the Schultz choke and not the Anaconda roll, is when we walk, we open our elbow for base, and we keep open our elbow so we can get a tight squeeze. Whereas if we tuck our elbow, you can see this encourages me to roll. All right, so let's keep the elbow open, focus on the Schultz choke, and then 2 or 3 minutes then we'll go into the Anaconda. So 3, 2, 1. Again, like, same details, right? So bringing the elbow away from your training partner's body towards your body. We go with the gable grip. We're walking, we're threatening the Schultz choke. Mantis finds that because I'm obviously putting pressure on him, raising my right elbow high, he's gonna basically, like, roll over his right shoulder. So if he starts to roll, this allows me to go into our Anaconda position. All right, so what we want to do in this position is we want to keep him on his side. Big kind of problem that you run across here is he's going to keep, like, say, his right elbow kind of flared high. So yeah, here, so you can see the way there's no connection with the bicep on the neck. So we want to keep this compressed. So the first thing we do when we come into this position is we're going to connect my knee to his elbow to keep his bicep connected to his neck. All right, common mistake, if we just kind of like throw this in front, you can see that it's kind of easy for Mantis just kind of still free his arm. So what we do is we go with high knee, we bring our knee up to our chest, and all we're going to do is just like close this over his elbow here. So if he tries to move it now, it's a lot harder. All right, my right hand is my choking hand, my left hand is my non-choking hand. So my non-choking hand, what we're going to do is we're going to pull our choking hand through deeper here, so we get more connection. All right, once we do this, same cue, the choking hand, the thumb goes into the armpit. To expose my tricep, I go with a thumb down grip, I grab my tricep and I bring this hand up high. All right, the detail on the non-choking hand, what you want to do is you want to keep this hand as close as you can to your chin. So make a V with your non-choking hand. Common mistake here, what people do is they leave the hand down kind of randomly on the belly. He'll just grab your wrist and then he'll strip the grip. So ideally what I want to do is make a V with the non-choking hand and put my chin on it. We walk towards our partners, we make them do a chin tuck, and the last detail is with the choking hand, the left elbow squeezes down towards our training partner's head to get the tap. All right, so I know there's a few little details in there, but they're all really important. So we'll just go one more time on this. So again, same setup. We're using the Schultz choke to create pressure. He rolls through, we roll through. All right, so the first thing we want is we go a high knee, and then we close the knee over the elbow. Non-choking hand pulls the choking hand through. All right, I go with a thumb down grip to expose my tricep. So once I grab my tricep, I go back with a thumb up grip. Walk my hand up to my chin. We make a V with the non-choking hand. We walk towards our training partner's head, so we make him do a chin tuck. And then I compress my left elbow down towards his head to get the finish. All right, so 3, 2, 1. It's going to be the same setup, so the cues are the same. So this hand is coming through deep, so we want connection on the bicep. Thumb goes into the armpit, not down towards the elbow. All right, so if the thumb goes down to the elbow, you can see that the forearm's kind of losing connection, and then obviously we can't control his elbow that well. So we're going with a gable grip. Again, the elbow's going away from his body towards my body, and I'm you know, maybe I'm trying to, like, say, I have the option of setting up the Schultz choke. I can roll through for our Anaconda roll, or what we can do here is once we get the setup, I can grip Mantis's tricep. All right, so what this does is, you can't really see it, but it brings imagine my elbow's behind Mantis's body. When I grip his tricep, my elbow goes through the center line, which gives me more connection with his bicep and his neck. All right, so same cues. So elbow, again one more time, goes away from his body towards my body. This hand goes through deep and we grip our own tricep. Now what I want to do is I'm looking into his armpit and I'm gripping my own tricep on the opposite side. So the grip looks like this. I'm gripping his tricep with my right hand and I'm gripping my own tricep with my left hand. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So same setup. Thumb goes in deep, grip his tricep, grip your own tricep. Ear goes into the armpit and we roll through. Now the beauty about this one is my non-choking elbow, sorry Mantis, my non-choking elbow protects and covers my right choking hand. All right, same details. Knee comes up high and we close close our knee on top of the elbow to kind of get his bicep connected on his neck. Now watch what happens with my left elbow. My left elbow flares over my right hand, thumb down grip. We start walking towards him, same details again. Hand goes up to the chin, elbow clamps down, keep walking until we get the finish. All right, so when you land, basically your hand is going to be here, and you use this to kind of free your right hand. So we'll just go one last time. Sorry, Matt, I know that's pretty tight. So again, elbow away from his body towards your body. Hand goes in deep, grip his tricep, grip your tricep. Ear goes into the armpit. So if you watch the way I roll, I'm walking and my left knee passes the line of my right knee. Here, we roll through. I walk towards him, high knee, like the same setup in the last Anaconda we did. We close the door, elbow clamps down to free my right hand. Thumb down grip, hand comes up to my chin. I walk towards him and I clamp my left elbow down towards his head to get the finish. All right, so 3, 2, 1.